This is the video review of the Asus Transformer TF700. I've had it for 3 or 4 weeks. I want to start off really quick by doing a size comparison with the original Transformer, which is the one I've been moving from. They are, as you can see, the thickness with it docked is pretty close to being the same. So if you flip it around, though, the back side of the dock is a lot thicker, so you can kind of see the difference there. And let me pull it out of the dock real quick, and I'll show you that. So as you can see, the thickness is it is considerably thinner. The TF100 back does kind of bulge out, so as you can see, it is a lot thicker. So I want to show the ports real quick on this thing. We'll start with the dock. It comes with the USB port here, which is under this rubber thing. You've got your another SD reader, and then you've got your charging light and your charging port. And of course you have the place where the tablet actually sits with the dock. And all your function keys have been replaced with function keys for Android. And of course you got the touchpad. And this does come with an extra battery. And the features on this device we'll talk about real quick. It comes with, of course, ice cream sandwich. You have the NVIDIA Tegra 3 quad-core processor. You have the full HD display running at 1920 by 1200. In my opinion, that's awesome. You've got only a single speaker, though, on the back, which is a little bit of a downside. You've got the 8-megapixel camera, and then the battery life on this thing is actually supposedly worse than the last Prime. So let's go ahead and take a look at the ports on this one, too. We'll start on this side with just the microphone. On the bottom, you can see it has the docking locks, the dock itself. On this side, you can see it has the headphones port, micro USB, another microphone, and then the micro SD reader. And one thing to note about this micro SD reader is it really springs well. So if you press it in to try and pull it out and you remove your thumb or your finger, it'll go launching across the room, so be careful. They are very hard to find. I know that from first-hand experience. So on the top we've got a charging light, which is amber when charging, green when fully charged, and it does come on when it's on the dock. We have the power button, volume rocker on this side. And then on the front we of course have the 2-megapixel camera for video conferencing, the ambient light sensor, and then of course the screen, which is the main selling point in this tablet for the most part. On the back we have the single speaker, which is unfortunately not as good as the original Transformer. So if you want to take this thing out in public to watch movies, I suggest bringing a pair of headphones. It's probably the only way you'll actually hear it. And then you have the webcam, the 8-megapixel autofocus camera, flash, and another microphone. This camera is a really good camera, in my opinion. I've used it a little bit. I compared the video out of it with the video that is on the camera I'm currently recording. It's actually a little bit better, if not the same, but it doesn't have any optics. So if you have a camera with optics, it would probably work a little bit better. So, like an actual camcorder that has zoom and that stuff, it'll probably work better. It'll probably look a little better in certain environments. But for the most part, this camera works really good. So I want to also mention some of the cons that I've had with this device. One of the first things that I have had problems with is the auto screen brightness. The only time it seems to work is after I reboot it, in which I just did, so it's actually working. Usually when I turn it on, the brightness sticks and gets stuck here, and the only way to make it adjust is to aim the ambient light sensor right at a very bright light source, and then it will adjust the lighting correctly. I don't know if it's a bug or if it's just my tablet. It's been very annoying for me. It's constantly doing it, so that is one con, I think. The other con I have on this tablet is the automatically adjusting contrast, and you can't see it very well, but if you have it in performance mode, which I usually run it in, so you have our low performance mode, battery saving mode. It adjusts the bright backlight and the contrast, and it makes images look very whitewashed, which, in my opinion, detracts from the screen, especially when it is a very gorgeous screen. So, if that bugs you, you can switch it to balanced, and it'll correct it. It'll make all your colors sharp again. It does a pretty good job, but there are some things it just doesn't do a very good job on. This also introduced us with this really cool ASUS taskbar, or notification bar. I like theirs. I know some people don't, but you get all these really fancy buttons which you can get in a widget. But you can change your performance mode really easily, turn off your rotation, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, mute it, turn off syncing with like Google servers and that, and you've got your GPS. So let's move on to the performance of this device. The performance on this device, when it comes to gaming, is pretty good. The Tegra 3 can handle a lot. It looks really good. Though, if you're going to do a game specifically designed for the Tegra 3, you have to switch it from power save mode to balance mode. Otherwise, it will not be quick enough to run it. There is a couple games that I have on my Google Nexus, which has a Tegra 3 running at a slower clock rate, that kind of lag a little bit. I haven't tried them on this yet, but I have tried a couple Tegra 3 games, and I know from a fact that you have to turn the processor to balanced mode, otherwise you cannot run it. Other thing that I use this thing a lot for is PDF reading, PDF viewing. It runs PDFs a lot better than the original Transformer. PDFs are still sluggish on these devices. Not as bad as the Transformer. It can handle PDF. My Transformer used to lock up all the time, and I'd have to close Adobe PDF and then relaunch it again to be able to get it to view the file. I haven't had that problem with this one yet. So PDF performance is better. I know some people would probably tell me that the performance on the iPad is better. I don't know. I don't have an iPad. I've never messed with an iPad, so I can't say yes or no on that. Though one thing I will mention is most of my PDF viewing and editing and whatnot has all been on the battery saving mode, so I don't know if the performance gets considerably better if you crank it all the way up. I've always been, away from the charger and doing stuff, and I didn't want to run my battery dead in 2 hours or 4 hours because I wasn't sure how long it was going to be before I got home. So I've always had it on power saving mode when I've done that. So I want to go ahead and talk about one thing I don't think I mentioned yet, is the charging cycle on the dock to the tablet. And this is something I had to look up. It freaked me out because I would put it on the dock, and my dock was charged, my tablet wasn't, and I couldn't figure out what's going on. The tablet, ASUS has changed how this works. To get better battery performance, they've designed it so that the tablet discharges to 70%, and then the dock charges up to 90%, and then it discharges again back down to 70%, and then charges it back up to 90%. So previous models, they charged the tablet up to 100% and then ran off the dock's battery. Not anymore, because it gives a better battery life, or charging life, for the tablet. So you get more charges before the battery starts to diminish in capacity. So to wrap up this device, the battery life on this thing is pretty good. I usually run 2 days with dock. Usually I end up putting the dock, or I end up putting this thing on the charger when the dock is dead, which is after 2 days. So just the tablet itself can probably push 2.5 days of light use. With the dock, you probably can push 3. I always charge it when the dock goes dead because they recommend not to let the dock go complete dead before you charge it. So I charge it before it goes completely dead. So the other thing that I just want to wrap up on is this display is a huge selling point for me. When I saw the difference between this display and the Transformer, it was amazing. It's a lot more crisp. It's a lot more clear. When you're looking at things like just a desk, even just the home screen, it's pretty amazing. But when you're doing things like remote desktoping or you're looking at PDFs, you'll notice the difference. And you'll actually kind of cry a little bit when you see the bad quality that some people put out in PDFs because they're not really high resolution images, which I've become obsessed with since I'm kind of a photo editor as well. It's a very good device. The speaker does hold it back, so if you want to watch videos, again, you need to bring headphones with you. The battery life is pretty good, as I've mentioned. The performance is great on this device. There are some software bugs that cause it to lock up and crash, but that's true across the Google's line. Some people don't like that and they prefer to go to Apple because of that. I'm not. And from what I can tell, this is a very solid built device. The Transformer was pretty well built. I dropped mine a number of times and it broke once, but it still worked fine for the most part. I haven't dropped this thing. I don't want to drop this thing because this was a significantly higher investment. So, in conclusion, if this is the kind of device you're looking for, you want a 10-inch, you want a high-performing tablet, if you want one that has a keyboard, this is probably the one to go with. If you want to save a little money, I'd probably suggest going with the TF300. There are a lot of problems with the 200 between wireless and Bluetooth that people have been complaining about. I haven't noticed them with this one, though it does have problems with the browser, but most of the problems I've noticed with this thing that seem wireless seem to all be actually results of software, not hardware, so maybe at some point we'll see a fix for it. The other thing is Jelly Bean has been released for this. I haven't installed it yet. I still want to do a compare and contrast on the UI for my Google Nexus, which is running Jelly Bean, and this thing, which is running Ice Cream Sandwich. So if you're interested in this, and you are willing to spend the extra $100 to get the higher resolution screen, I recommend it. The camera is also better from what I read. I don't have a TF300, so I can't tell you, but I will tell you that I went from the 100. This is my second device with Android, and I love it. I love how light this thing is compared to the previous one I've been using. I love the display. I love its performance. So I think if you're just looking at upgrading from the TF100 or some of the other tablets, I think you'll be kind of excited. You'll really enjoy this device. If you've already got one with a Tegra 3 processor, well, if you want something like a keyboard or something and you don't have it, because I know a lot of this is I think the only line in the market that comes with a docking keyboard, which turns into a tablet, or notebook, which is kind of nice. If that's something you're looking for, I'd suggest maybe getting this model. If you want to save a little money, go with the TF300. If the screen is everything for you and you want a really good camera, then this is the way to go. This is the big model. This is the one I suggest if you don't mind spending the money. Or you can go with the other model. But like I said, I've had this model. I love it. I'd recommend it in a heartbeat to anybody that was a hardcore Android tablet user, especially somebody that wanted to have a dock. So this has been the video review of the Transformer Infinity, Prime Infinity, I'm sorry. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. I try and keep up with my videos for up to 2 months, so I'll try and get back to any questions. If it's a relevant question that's been asked enough, I'll try and make a video to quickly show something that has been asked. And look for the future, I'm going to try and release a video that will show the upgrade process from this is a Ice Cream Sandwich to Jelly Bean, because I've been curious about that. I don't know if other people have been curious to actually watch the upgrade process, and I wanted to see, compare the UI real quick and what the UI looks like, and see if there's any other kind of changes that are kind of visual. So I want to make a video that shows the upgrade process and shows any changes that I noticed right off the bat and kind of the UI performance. So keep your eyes open for that. So the TF101 Transformer Prime Infinity. Thanks for watching.